there's a lot of talk online and research to read about the crossover and the combining or convergence of B2C, B2C, B2B, B2E, B2G, all sorts of B2s. Invasiveness is a big topic on people's minds as well, especially when we've all looked at Amazon and thought, I've just searched on this product, it's serving me up this advert now. Now I'm on Facebook and there's an advert for this particular topic coming up as well. And it's a bit scary in a way. So I guess coming back to personalization and technology again, how can you use technology to overcome some of the challenges that might be faced by having a more personalized experience so that you develop that empathetic relationship with a customer, but you don't cross the line of being invasive in their personal space?
I would say two things. One, it's back to the point that was made earlier, which is what is the point of all this data? It is really to try and build a better experience.
Exactly.
Ultimately for commercial, benefit for you as an organization. If you start from the point of the data is to get you that commercial benefit, generate revenue, and then you think about the experience afterwards, you're going to run into these problems.
Completely agree.
And like technology, just because you can doesn't mean you should. I mean, we can all be right now pressing buttons every minute, sending emails to every one of our customers. We know that doesn't make sense, right? Because they would just opt out of everything we're doing.
There's a responsibility, isn't there?
Well, we know that's a poor experience. And I guess we're getting to grips with data now and what we can do with technology in other ways that maybe it's not a great experience. So your point around you buy something or you look at something and then you get an ad. It's even worse than that. You buy something and you still get the ad for the thing that you bought. I'm a customer now and I'm still getting served the ad saying, why didn't you, 10% off? I bought it. You don't even know that. Yeah. So there's little steps there. So the technology is uncovering other areas where we need to improve that. But I think we talk a lot about personalization. I would look at it a different way. It's about relevance. It's about building a relevant experience because you don't need to know everything about everyone to drive personalization. So, when people are interacting with your website and they're clicking around, they're expressing an interest in the content. And you don't need to know that I'm a middle-aged marketing manager from West London with 2 kids and my average household income is this and I like whatever Chelsea football and I play music in my... You don't need any of that. You just need to know what I'm looking at and try and build something that's relevant based on your expression of interest. And I think people just believe this is about building up huge kind of customer records to understand that. And then it's giving that consistent experience as well. I mean, you've talked about it around your customer service agents, your in-store, your online experience. That's the other thing as well, as a customer expects a consistent experience. And people are intolerant of it now. So it doesn't take much for them to go, what, with infinite choice, infinite product, at my fingertips in milliseconds, I'll just go somewhere else. Doesn't bother me.
Your point about relevance as well, though. So when you think about personalization, you think about what constitutes personalization in B2C, where it is all those attributes that you just spoke about. But what's personalization in B2B?
Yeah.
And that's not necessarily all those personal attributes, but it might be understanding what the individual pain points and challenges are of that person or that buying persona.
Making your offer relevant, that's right.
And then making that offer relevant.
And then helping them back to the point around existing customers and we talk about cross-sell and upsell as on but really it's about helping the customers maximize the value out of the investment because they are investing a lot of time, money, and if you're in technology it's typically multi-million-dollar investment. So we want them to get the value out of it because it's of no value to any of us if they don't get the value. So it's more about value realization and helping them understand, hints, tips, tricks, complementary services, how they can get more out of what they got. Of course, commercially, it's important for us because they renew their contract, they continue the subscription, whatever it may be. But it's coming from that perspective. And, I think most people understand that. It's really, I think ultimately it's the value exchange and people are willing to invest time to, and be part of this relationship. And we talk about relationships in marketing, right? I don't know if people want a relationship with a carpet manufacturer, but anyway,
there are people out there that do.
We can't all be love brands, right? So, but it is about that. And if there's a clear, people are willing to share their information. If they get something back, if all you're doing is pushing offers to them, then they'll opt out.
That's why it's become, for me, personalization's become a bit of a one-way street that is serving the benefit of a company. And I think, for so long now we talk about customer centricity and put the customer back at the center of things. And I think with personalization there is an opportunity, and I think to put the customer at the back and in control of their perspective or their view on personalization, so they're kind of self-selecting. And I think companies and brands that can enable that, as opposed to sort of selfishly push their own agenda, if you put the customer back in control, I think those are the companies.
And I think customers are expecting to be in control.
Yeah.
I mean, and I think there's almost, there will be a bigger and bigger backlash against the ads follow me around and all. I mean, I think people want control. So on an individual level, you want control of your own, of your privacy and what data is shared and all the rest of it. And I think that's going to get more and more important. And of course, with e-privacy coming in as well, you're going to get more and more controls around this as well. So I think you need to adapt to that, and I think it just reinforces the point that it's not personalization for the benefit of the company. Yes, it can have benefit, but in the end, it's about serving the customer in the right way.
Just for come to you, Prelini. Sorry, there's a virtuous circle there, though, isn't it? Because we're making the point about the customers are going to drive an expectation that they want to be able to self-serve because they don't want to be hard sold to by organisations, and that's entirely understandable.
Yeah.
But when they engage with an organisation, they also expect that organisation to know about them, know their individual challenges, pain points and characteristics, and serve them content in that way. So there's a very fine line between meeting the personalisation expectations without crossing over that barrier.
And it's also understanding that you can't, your information, we spoke about systems, there's not going to be one system that all that information stores. It's just going to be this massive system that just doesn't exist. So how do you find a way to be able to put all the systems and the data together to provide that single view as you're serving up that the customer, which becomes key. So to your point, it doesn't become creepy, but in the sense of, we know a little bit of background. Someone's done a purchase, but we can see they've done 10 purchases. And they're buying a particular brand, a particular shoes or whatever it is. So when they are calling up to say, are you calling up about this order, and it's proactive in your engagement, but at the same time I can see you really like this brand, is there something else around this area that I can help you? So it's really combining that, and that's where that personalization becomes key. And it again allows your teams to be more successful, and you're tapping that full funnel approach then.
And I think the difference you asked about B2B and B2C is B2B you have multiple decision makers and multiple audiences that you need to talk to. There's the user, the practitioner, the implementer, the decision maker, and so this relationship, which is why I think B2B is a great place to be, is we have to think more about complex, groups in our customers, and we need to have that relationship with all those different types: the IT guy, the marketing guy, the analytics guy, the analyst. So it's thinking about the organization as well as the individual.
And also tapping onto that, because we speak about B2B, B2C, B2E. I really think it's become B2B to C. So we have to understand on the consumer side or in the employee side what's happening in order to provide better services to those businesses. And that element is so key that organizations do need to make that shift to start thinking from that, because that's what's going to lead that data to make those decisions.
Yeah, but what I love about all of this is there's a lot of contemporary things that we're all trying to wrestle with, but it comes back to a point you made earlier. Some of the fundamentals don't change. Understand your customer, understand the customer journey. Who is your customer? I mean, I don't know how many meetings anyone's been in about actually just agreeing who our customer is. Back to the complexity of what you talk about. How do we think about the customer? Are they a purchaser of services, or are they themselves providing a service to their end customer? And should we think about them as that rather than someone who's buying, technology or software or hardware, or whatever it may be? And so, getting that right, understanding the journey, what they want to get out of it, and trying to build that. And technology allows us to do that in a much more automated, potentially, and much more scaled way, because I'm sure we're all in businesses that has to deal with hundreds of thousands, not millions of individuals now, because you have to build this, this kind of personal connection. And you can't do that with one guy in a spreadsheet or trying to write stuff down. You need a single version of the truth, a single customer view. You need to pull that together from multiple data systems. And then you need to work out a way to use technology to automate those conversations in a non-creepy way that gives value back to the
And
to-
just,
to
sorry,
the-
can I
to
just
the
catch
customer.
up on
Yeah,
that? And that single view, no one company is going to give you that one single view, and you can't do it your own. So that's why you look at a lot of organisations that are looking at platforms. It's how do you have that platform that you can bring your best of breed suppliers together to give you that view, but it's not thinking I can do it just with working with one vendor that's going to provide everything I need, but I'm taking the best of breed of everything. That platform integrates everything together, and as a result, I can provide that best of view to my customer.